Would you go back to US to live?
Well, I'm sure I'll go back there eventually. My parents are there, and and even though I love China, it's probably a better place to raise kids. But I think I would be hesitant to completely remove myself from China. I'm sure I'd want to come back on business trips at the very least, because China's the future, even if it's not the future of the global economy, because we don't know if there's going to be the what do they call it nowadays? The de-risking or cutting their economies off from China. Some of the U.S. and Europe have been talking about that. I forget what it's called. Anyways, the point is, maybe it's going to be China and the global South. Maybe it's going to be China and the whole world. I'm not sure, but they're going to be a huge influence moving forward. So one of the things you see because of the cultural differences is that if you're gone for a year or two, then you might everything might change. And you might not realize it before you come back. And that's why if we're, say, talking to Western companies and saying you want to come do business in China, you need someone to help you manage your team, whether it's full-time or part-time. You need someone who understands the local culture, the local language. That's part of the services that my company offers. But simply because if you certainly can't manage a Chinese operation from the USA. You need either a Chinese manager or a Western consultant to help you. And at the very least, you need someone who can work at China's speed and at the Western speed, because there's so many cultural differences. You can certainly just let your Chinese office do the things they want, but they may not be as proactive as you want them to be. They may not be as reporting to you as often as you want, and they may not just be complying with your guidelines or whatnot. So having someone you trust on the ground really helps too. And that also allows your board or your CEOs to not necessarily come over every few months. You can actually have someone who is keeping an eye on things, because it's not to say there's any bad will, but there is a very different way of doing business in China compared to what other countries might be used to.